Hello, and welcome to Martinis and Bikinis, the podcast for everything under the sun. I am your hostess, Veronica Droulia, and I am here to help you navigate your 20s through all things lifestyle, beauty, and fashion. So, if you're ready, let's dive into today's episode. I don't know exactly how many people I've had on, but this is my 36th. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Whenever I first started in the podcasting space or was interested in it, I was watching a ton of YouTube videos about getting started, and it's kind of intimidating if you just don't know what you're doing at all.
For sure.
As far as equipment goes or platforms or anything like that. But the number one thing that I took away was the guy saying, whenever you become a podcaster or a podcast host, you're going to have this honeymoon period for about 2 months. Cool. And it's going to be so fun, fireworks. You're going to be like, this is the best thing I ever did. And then the 2 months go by and you're like, oh shit, this is actually like hard work. So that definitely happened. It was much later than 2 months, but no, I feel like, I told myself that my obligation to myself was to post one every single week.
It's amazing.
With like no exceptions. Like if it's shitty, I don't care. I'm putting it out there.
But that's just how you have to get so comfortable with it that you just keep going.
Yeah.
And now look at this. Look at where you are.
Yes.
It's so cute.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Well, cheers, Melanie.
Cheers.
Sorry, I moved the mic.
So much. I know.
Cheers.
I was like, if we move it by accident.
Okay. Is this good?
Do I always have to be like more back here? Or can I like be up front? Back here.
Yeah.
I was like, because I know I move a lot, so.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Well,
amazing.
welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much.
So, oh my gosh, no, thank you. So, it's so funny how we met, actually.
The story is crazy.
So I was in New York for New York Fashion Week, which was like kind of controversial because I have a swimwear line, and typically they're not in New York Fashion Week.
I know.
But I was like, you know what? I got this opportunity. I'm just going to make it like super elevated, do this whole Mardi Gras theme because our brand's based in New Orleans, and put like these really amazing handmade masks on the models and just make it like this whole show. Wow. So as expected, like usually runway shows are just so chaotic and you never know what to expect. And we ended up going to Soho Grand the night before, and I ran into you and we just started talking, and maybe you can even give more detail because I was like just in my own little world, but.
No, totally. From my perspective.
From your lens, from your drunk lens.
I was like, not even, because I barely drink. So I'm always, anytime I go out so much. Yeah. But I'm honestly always sober. I like sip. It's more like I do it just for the vibe. Like I'll hold a drink. This would take me like 5 years to finish. But yeah, so I was out with my friend Danny, and we just kept meeting people, and we were like talking about everyone's zodiac signs, and then you just somehow pop in.
Of course.
And I think you like overheard us saying we were Capricorns. And you're like, me too. And I'm like, no way. So we ended up talking, and then that's what you were saying, like, oh, like I'm doing this is why I'm here. I'm like, oh my God, it's so cool. We would love to go. So it first started off with like me just wanting to go to your show. And then I feel like I was just showing you my Instagram, and I was like, look, like I do bikini photo shoots.
Yeah, we were talking, and you were like, I'm from Miami, and it would be a dream to be in Miami Swim Week. And I was like, well, do you want to come walk for me at New York Fashion Week? And that's so funny that I intruded on your zodiac sign talk. Yeah, typical.
Well, everything happens for a reason. But on my end, I'm like, this girl is for sure drunk. She's just saying that to say it, right? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, maybe I should text her the next morning and be like, if she's legit. So I literally texted you. I'm like, were you for real? And you were. And I was like, oh my God, like I'm free today. Like I'm just going to do it. You know, I've never been in one. Why not? And then I did it, and it was so amazing.
It was so amazing.
It was so fun.
It was like the best decision I ever made, because I remember like watching the videos back, and me and my friend who was my assistant that day, she and I were just like jaw dropped whenever we saw your walk. I was like, there's no way she has not been on a runway before. You had like one of the best walks I'd ever seen for swimwear.
Oh God.
Oh my gosh, you killed it.
Thank you. No, but I do appreciate you at like what, 2 a.m. telling me I can be in your show. So
at like 10 a.m. texting me like, hey, were you sure?
And you were on it
and
too.
The fittings were like an hour later. You're like, I'll be there. You were the first one there.
I know. I was like, I can't miss this opportunity. So yeah, this is how we're friends.
Yeah. So what was that experience like for you? Because I think a lot of people that have never been on a runway before, like kind of like glamorize it. It's like, oh, you're backstage and you're being fed, and then like you walk out and it's like this marvelous experience, and it really is like so amazing.
Yeah.
But there's like a lot of things that go on behind the scenes, like just a lot of waiting time, and it's not as glamorous as it seems, but it's still like a really cool experience, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's like the moment of like when you walk on and you see people watching you, that like forever is the experience, and it makes it all worth it. Yeah. But I also think from my background, just being a dancer and doing stupid shows that are like irrelevant. Yeah. So like I feel like I've dealt with the not glamorous sides of waiting, or like they feed you a piece of bread and I can't even eat bread. I'm gluten free. So I'm like, okay, like whatever, this is it. But you know, that's just life. So.
Yeah. And I will say that production company is like top notch. They're amazing. But what I think makes it so worthwhile is that waiting time, because that anticipation builds up. And then by the time you walk out on the runway, you're like, hell yeah, like here we are.
What I did learn though is that it's so short.
Oh, yeah.
I guess, you know, my background is so used to like 2-hour shows. I'm like, oh my God, this was 10 minutes.
Yeah. So tell me more about that. So you are a professionally trained ballerina, correct?
Yes, correct. Yes. I've been dancing since I was 4. Went middle school, high school, and college. All I did like a dance program within my education. It wasn't until high school where I realized, okay, I really do want to make this a career. So I went to SUNY Purchase here in New York, got my BFA in dance. And then, I was just kind of writing out the professional dance career, like right up until the pandemic, where I was in a dance company. And it wasn't until like during the pandemic I realized, okay, that's maybe not so much what I want to do as far as like dancing for someone. I'd rather set work on dancers. So I pursue more choreography now versus like dancing for a company.
Yeah, I love that. So like where do you do like choreography, and like what does that look like now?
Yeah. So it's more freelancing. Like my full-time job is obviously at Pvolve as a fitness instructor, but
which I definitely want to get into.
Duh. I love Pvolve. But the freelancing part, it's more just, you know, if an opportunity comes, a school or company reaches out wanting me to set work. If I love it, I say yes. And typically I say yes to all the opportunities because I get maybe like 1 to 2 projects a year. And it's really just setting like a whole new ballet, sometimes on point, sometimes not. Like last year I worked with high school students at Frank Sinatra. It was really fun.
Oh my gosh, cool.
Yeah, they were awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah, this year was with a ballet company in Connecticut, which was probably one of my favorite experiences. They were amazing and so talented. So that was like back in February, March. So now I've just been chilling. If another opportunity comes, I'll obviously take it. So
yeah. Well, if anybody's listening that has the plug,
honestly,
you heard it here first.
If you are a dancer and you want some work.
Yeah. So I actually went to a Broadway play 2 nights ago. So I am currently living with my landlord. She is this amazing woman named Geraldine.
I love it.
But she's like a member of like this like theater company.
Okay.
So she gets like super discounted tickets to Broadway, and she was like, you want to go to like Some Like It Hot with me? And I was like, wow, fuck yeah, let's go.
I love that for you.
So we went, and I swear every time I go to like the theater, I am just blown away by the choreography and like just the talent. And I always think to myself afterwards, how do they choreograph that? Like how do you plan that out? So it's just like so mystical to me what you do. But
I'm sure it's like every other thing, right? Like I look at ice skaters and I'm like, how in the fucking world are you guys on a little blade on ice? You could not like pay me to do that. So I feel like, you know, just something that you don't do, obviously you admire. But yeah, choreography it's so cool. It's really just all in your imagination and just how you visualize things in your head. And I love it. I really do.
Yeah. So like dancing at the club. I honestly need tips because I swear every single one of my friends are dancers, and I'm at some bar or wherever we are, party, wedding, and I'm standing next to them and I look like a limp noodle.
No, you don't. I'm sure you don't.
No, I do. It's really bad. So what are your tips for dancing?
Oh my God.
When you're out?
Well, first of all, those are 2 different things, right? Like the dancing I do at the club is chaotic. Like I think it's such a confidence thing because it's not like what exactly you're doing. No one's like wanting to see, oh my God, can she put her leg up in the air? You know, like it's just more like, okay, can you catch a beat? And are you having fun with yourself? You know what I mean? No one, I swear to God, I've never seen anyone like, oh my God, look at how they're dancing. And if so, it's because they look like they're having so much fun. We're like, wow, I want to dance with them. Yeah. So it's just enjoy the music, feel it in here, and just have fun. Like,
I love that. Yeah. I have 0 rhythm, so
okay.
I'll just have fun.
That we can work with, right? I can teach a little beat, a 2-step.
Perfect. Yeah, we'll have to have like a one-on-one session because
absolutely.
That would be so funny, actually, like how to dance at the club 101.
Can you imagine that's what my life comes to? So when you hear this song,
you're just like a jack of many trades.
Maybe.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe.
But speaking of that, so I am obsessed with Pvolve, which you are now the lead trainer at.
Yes.
So let's definitely get into that.
Thank you.
But I went for the first time in West Hollywood and I fell in love with it. I had always heard about it on social media, different like influencers posting about it.
Yeah.
And I'm not like a bar person. It's just like not my thing. But I went to this class and I was just like, that is my favorite workout I've ever done.
Love.
And afterwards, I was talking to the instructor about how much I loved it and that I lived in DC at the time. And she was like, well, it's a franchise.
Yeah.
Do you want to open one in DC? And I was like, wow. I was like,
Big
this
step.
is my first time here. But I honestly contemplated it because it was just so amazing. And I haven't been able to do it since, but I'm coming next week.
I know you are.
So I'm probably just going to fall in love with it all over again.
It
but
is. Yeah.
How did you get into that? And maybe you can give like a little background about what Pvolve is and the results you get or just like what the workout is as a whole.
Totally. So I feel like when you're in the dance world, fitness and dance just go so hand in hand. It's just a part of our life, you know, training. You don't just go to dance class and you're done, you know, you have to train outside of dance class, go to the gym, do strengthening exercises to improve your dance skills. So I feel like every dancer just naturally has a love for fitness and working out. And, you know, outside of college, you want a job. So I started off as a dance teacher a little bit. Obviously, my dream was like, I want to be in a company. So that's kind of what I was going for in 2019. And then there used to be this website called talenthack.com where they would just post auditions for fitness places. And Pvolve came up, had no idea what Pvolve was, but I was like, I need a job. Like, I need to do something of fitness. And I auditioned. We first were in a very small studio in Bowery, like towards Chinatown. Didn't know anyone. I just had to follow a video and teach them like a 5-minute workout. And then they were like, okay, let's train you, whatever. So it was like a group of us that were training. And then the rest is history. I've been there for like 4 years now, starting off at that small studio. And then we moved into Soho. It's a gorgeous studio. And yeah, I've been there ever since, and I love it. Really, I truly love it.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. And I feel like there's so many different types of classes.
There's
like strength, there's like sculpting classes, but if you want to give us like a rundown of the classes you teach, I think that would be really cool.
So I truly feel like this workout, we're at a place where we can offer anything to anyone. So the foundation of Pvolve is that we're a functional movement workout. So we are low impact, high intensity, and we do lots of resistance and strength training. So we have different pieces of equipment like ankle bands, ankle weights, gliders, and then some of our own proprietary equipment that it's literally just like Pvolve's equipment, like the ball. We have something called the P3, the P band. So it's very unique equipment that you can't really see anywhere else. And with that foundation, we have some classes that focus more on cardio or weight training or Pilates focus. So there's just everything for everyone, and I'm just so obsessed with the method. I feel like it goes so hand in hand with the type of training I did growing up. And I just feel like in 2023, the world of fitness, we're just moving more to a place of not breaking your body to get a result or like, wow, I have to sweat for 3 hours. Right. It's really just you can move functionally in a low impact way that feels good on your joints, your muscles, your body, and still get the results you want.
Yeah, I definitely want to get back to this, but you're from Miami.
Yeah.
And did you start when did you start dancing?
4.
Oh my gosh.
At 4.
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
My mom like first put me, I think, in a class at 3, and I hated it. And then she was like, I'm just going to try again. And then, you know, a year later, I was like, okay, I love it.
That's so funny. Yeah. I was the opposite because my mom was a piano teacher growing up. And I started playing piano at like 4 years old and played 4 years. And I was just like, at first I really liked it. And then at the end I was like, I fucking hate this. I hate practicing. I don't like going to piano practice. I could not even like teach with her. Like she was not my teacher because I just would not listen to her.
Well, that's a different dynamic. That's hard, you know?
Yeah. But anyway, later down the line, I was like, no, I don't want to do this anymore. And she was like, well,
now it's a good party trick, right? Can you play
I can
piano
play.
still?
I can play.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because I was playing competitively. Like I was playing like classical music. So if I go to like a party and I'm like,
honestly, I would freak out. I'm like, yes, bitch, play me some. I don't know.
So funny. Yeah. Well, she was like, you can't quit piano because I want you to have a musical instrument like on the back of your hands.
Yeah.
Like you need to be able to play something. And I was like, okay. So I picked up guitar. So I play that now, but
Work.
I didn't bring it with me to New York. So I'm a little rusty.
Like an electric guitar or just
Both?
work? Love that.
Yeah.
You know what? I also just fully believe it's so important for children to be in some type of sport, club, anything where it just builds discipline for you.
Yeah.
So for example, like on my end, whether I don't dance anymore in a company, like everything that I've learned in my dance career, just how I was trained, has made me, I feel, succeed at Pvolve just because of the discipline I've built and the hard work, the passion, all that plays into a part. So I literally feel like coming from dancers, anything that they do, they will succeed in just because of their work ethic.
Yeah. So were you were dancing like very competitively as a kid?
Yeah.
Like you've been dancing your entire life.
Yeah. I feel like from I forgot what age I started competing, maybe 6.
Wow.
But 6.
That's like pretty crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I feel like I always hear about people like competitively dancing like more towards high school. Yeah.
I know. It goes on till high school, right?
Yeah.
So like from that age till 18, I was competing in dance competitions. Then, you know, obviously in college, that's not really a thing anymore. It's more just training in more classical dance, like modern ballet. But yeah, the competition world is insanity.
Yeah. I feel like I watched Dance Moms growing up. Is it very realistic?
You know what? For sure. Like, I feel like obviously the TV shows are going to dramatize things a little bit more. Like, I have never met an Abby Lee type teacher. That would be fucking crazy. But I mean, my dance teachers were still crazy too, and I'll let them know.
Yeah.
You guys were crazy. But I mean, they're still family to this day. Like, I love it. I will never regret being in dance competitions. It was so fun. But, you know, like mentally, it definitely can get to a young child. Comparing yourself to another dancer, why do they keep getting first and I'm always top 5? You know, that can be hard where you just get too much into comparison. But once you break the system, it is very freeing, but it's hard. I mean, there's still dancers that work professionally now in their 20s and 30s where I'm sure they're still comparing themselves to the dancer next to them. So it's annoying.
Yeah. So that's like, I feel like something that just everybody can take a piece of advice from is comparison is it is like the defeater of joy. And I know everybody always says that, but I think lately just endless scrolling and doom scrolling and just being on social media. I know you're in the social media space as well. It's so easy to compare yourself to especially like all these like influencers out there that are just like living these like extremely lavish lives. And I think even stuff that I post, I'm just like, this is just a highlight reel, you know?
Right.
And I think it can be really, really just self-deteriorating in anything that you do in life, whether it's dance or whether you're just like comparing somebody in your career or maybe like somebody that's like in your like close friend circle or family that you're comparing yourself to, and maybe like your life track compared to them. But I think it's like so important to just really embrace where you are presently. And I just have really started to try and connect with that more because I think it's so easy to compare and like think down the line and like be like so like futuristic to the point where it's like just super crumbling. But I think it's really great just to embrace life and
and also to accept it. Like I've definitely, I was just having this talk with my mom the other day. Like, I'm aware that I catch myself sometimes comparing and I don't like that quality. And like, I'm not going to beat myself up and be like, wow, Melanie, I can't believe you're doing that. It's more like, okay, I see what I'm doing. I know that I'm going to get better at it. And I think that's where a lot of people probably mess up is that they One, not self-aware. I do take pride that I'm very self-aware. So I know when I'm like, I'm
Which
doing
is so
something
important.
wrong. It is.
That is the most important skill to have.
It is. You know what my pet peeve is? Lack of common sense and no self-awareness.
Absolutely.
Like, bitch, I know if I'm like this, you know what, Melanie, you're being fucking rude. Or like, you were comparing too much, you're being too selfish here. And like, I see it. And I'm like, okay, I get it. I'm going to fix it. And I know it's going to get better. Like, I go more into the delusion, happiness part of it versus like, wow, I'm just going to ignore that I'm this way and not pay attention to it, you know?
Right. I think whenever you start mistreating others because of your delusion, that's where that fine line exists.
Exactly. And again, self-awareness.
Exactly.
All comes down to
it's
that.
like the most like important characteristic for emotional maturity, in my opinion. But I went to this manifestation and abundance workshop the other day, and it's at this place called Sage and Sound in the Upper East Side, and it was like
I saw that on your story.
so cool.
Yeah.
We need to go to one together. It was amazing. So I would say that this was more of like a general class for people that maybe aren't as knowledgeable about like the manifestation space. But she said something that like really was so hold on. Champagne. She said something that was really so thought-provoking.
Yeah.
And she said, instead of thinking about all of your limiting beliefs or maybe your comparisons, thank the world for what you have, or thank the world for what you want to have. So it's like this way of manifesting what you want, but like already accepting that you have it. And I was like, I love that.
Do you love that?
Yeah.
Gets me excited hearing that. I love manifestation.
Me too.
I'm a full supporter of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did you manifest becoming lead trainer at Pvolve?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
How was that?
Awesome.
What was that like?
I think it was a work in progress for sure. I feel like in my life, I'm not someone that gets handed things very easily. And I do think other people have that in their life. And maybe it's because they are powerful manifestors or that's just the way their life is. I've noticed my life is like, it takes a minute, I think, for people to see, oh, she's good, you know, or like, oh, like she's worthy of it, you know? And I'm not mad about that. That's just like how my life is. And what I take pride in is that, yes, I'm manifesting, but I'm also working towards that manifestation. So I'm not just like, yeah, I'm going to be lead trainer. It's obviously going to happen. Like, I put in the work. I got the feedback from my bosses. Like, I changed things to make sure it happened. But obviously with the fire and adrenaline in me, like, I'm obviously going to get it, you know?
Yeah. I love the hustle.
Yes. I definitely think when I want something,
Capricorn. Capricorn.
Absolutely. Yes. Capricorns are very much that, right? Like, you want something, you're going to get it.
Yeah.
And even like maybe to like a stubborn way, but a healthy way, right? Like, no, there's no way I'm not going to get it. So of course.
A little bit delusional.
Yeah, you have to be. You have to be. I feel like I used to be so scared of that. Like in high school and like early college, I was so afraid of failing. But I'm like, literally, so what? If I said, okay, I'm going to get this and I didn't get it, then okay, then it wasn't meant to be or something.
Yeah, there's so many other possibilities out there.
Yeah, but
so
that
many
takes
other opportunities.
time to like feel comfortable in that thought. But yeah, bit of manifestation. It was like a year process to like get it.
Yeah.
And
so did you like just really celebrate yourself? Because I think that's so important. Like, I think sometimes what we do in life is at least this is what I do, a fellow Capricorn. I'm reaching for the specific goal. And then once I'm at that goal, I'm already thinking about the next thing I want to do. And I don't like properly celebrate myself in that moment. So that's what I'm saying whenever I'm like, I need to like really embrace the present and hone in on like celebrating what is already in front of me.
So wild you're saying that, because I swear to God, I just texted my friend the other day where I'm like, I'm having this like weird feeling where like, now that I have it, I'm like, okay, now what?
Right.
And this is literally the job I wanted, so I'm going to embrace it to the fullest. But of course, my brain is like, so now what comes next? You know, at Pvolve, like, now what? Like, what's the next thing? There's always like this adrenaline that I'm chasing.
Which I think is really good. There's a healthy
thing
balance
to
it,
you know.
But we're celebrating right now.
Exactly. No, yeah, I do celebrate myself. It's more like a internal thing. Like, I'm just so proud that I got it. I'm proud of just where I am. So not necessarily external celebration with friends, but just more like, yes, I'm very happy at where I am.
Yeah,
right
I always think back to my younger self, and I think, would she be proud?
Aw,
And I think
yeah.
that helps for sure.
It is.
Yeah.
I do. I know. I'm usually like not a deep person like that. Where I'm like, what would 10-year-old Melanie say? I don't fucking know. So, but
my gosh.
yes, I'm sure my younger self is like, go girl.
Yeah,
Killing it.
I read this article or like watched this video with Kendall Jenner talking about how she put her baby picture on her bathroom
see
mirror, and I always said that I wanted to do that, but I need to do it. I'm also not as sentimental.
Like that. Like exactly. Like I'm just not that deep.
I would just like
or-
look past it. I'd be like, all right.
I was like, first of all, I didn't even think I was that cute as a baby. So I was like, that like
I'm sure
that
you were
doesn't hit
adorable.
home. Thank you.
So how was growing up in Miami?
I mean, a bubble.
Yeah.
A bubble, actually. So I remember when I first moved to New York, mind blown. Because I was like, white people, oh my God. I was
Did you
like,
go straight from Miami here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like obviously in college, like you're seeing different different people from around the country. So
Right.
people from Vermont and Oregon.
Yeah.
Oregon. And I was like, who are these people? Just because in Miami you grow up in a bubble of just a whole Latin community. So even if I did see a white person at school, I'm like, yeah, you're Latin, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, but it's so different. Obviously it's so fun. I think people just from Miami have such a different mentality from anyone else in this country. Just because of what we see every day, you know, it's just not normal. It's not normal. Just like the people, just the language, how Spanish pretty much is like the first language in Miami, all that stuff. But it was fun. I do feel like I didn't get to do like the party experience in Miami because obviously I left right away at 18.
Right.
So, but every time I do go back, I hit up my friends and I'm like, take me out everywhere. So it's very fun.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's so funny that you mentioned like seeing people and just assuming that they're Latin because of my first name. I think whenever I go there, everybody just like thinks that I'm Latin and
Veronica. Yeah.
yeah, and I'm like, they're like Veronica. I'm like,
Veronica.
hi. Hola.
It's true. You can definitely pull off a Latin look. Right. I mean, and then people from here would never guess I'm Cuban, but also like, bitch, what do Cubans look like? We literally look like white as a cracker or like dark as midnight. It ranges, you know? So
Yeah.
it's interesting. But yeah, I love it. I will always say it. I'm so grateful I grew up there. I feel like I get the best of both worlds.
Yeah, I feel like Miami's a good mix of city, but then also beach. And
Yeah.
just like meeting like really interesting people.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So cool. Like my high school was a walk away from like where the Ultra Festival was. So
Oh,
like,
cool.
yeah, at 15 years old, my friend's dad was a cop and would just let us in for free. So I was partying it up.
Love that.
15 years old.
Love that.
At Ultra.
That is so crazy.
I know.
I've never been, but I've had friends that have gone. And
You
it
gotta go
looks-
like once.
Really?
Everyone has to go like once in their life. So
Okay.
you can say that you've done it, you know.
Maybe I'll do it.
Maybe. I'll go with you again.
Okay. We'll do that and then Miami Swim Week.
That's the manifestation. Let's
Yeah.
say it out loud together.
Yeah.
Miami Swim Week 2024.
I'm like, what year is it? I was like trying to follow along.
You did great.
Thank you. Thank
Your
you.
swim line. I saw you were there this year,
So,
but not for your swim line.
Yeah, I just went to kind of do some research.
I love that.
Because Miami Swim Week had this really strange thing happen this year. Not strange, but there was this kind of house divided situation. So,
Okay.
Paraíso, is that how you say it? So, excuse me, my pronunciation's
All good. No judgment.
so terrible. But anyway, they decided to move their event
Yeah.
to June.
Okay.
And they're probably
Yes.
one of the more popular production companies.
Yeah.
So everybody was really just confused on what to do. Do I go in June? Do I go in July? Some people were going to both. So I had been to the one in July.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, I'm going to go to this new one, see what it's like, get the lay of the land,
Yeah.
and then see what happens in July
Cool.
and just watch it from like a social media standpoint. So it was weird because actually most of the people that I saw in June ended up going in July again. So I feel like
cool.
now Miami just has 2 swim weeks.
Yeah, I was gonna say I have a friend that's a photographer that went to the June one, and I'm like, what are you talking about? It's always in July. So now this makes more sense the way you're
Yeah.
explaining it.
Yeah.
But I feel like from a social media standpoint, I definitely saw more of the June than the July.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so interesting. Yeah.
Maybe.
And I think as far as Noah goes, I don't really care which one it is, but I wanted to see just what production companies were doing it in June and which ones were doing it in July and how we could participate. So, and like also like what the weather was like. I know that's like silly. It's only a month apart, but I feel like that makes like a big difference for people like actually like attending.
True.
And yeah, attending is like an important part too, like having attendees. So I was kind of looking at that too. But I was just doing some research. Did you feel like you made
connections and stuff?
I did. Definitely. But I got all my things stolen. So
I saw that. I
kind of turned into a raging bitch.
As you should.
I was a Karen and I was like, where the fuck is
That's
my
a
stuff?
Nightmare.
Yeah.
I can't even, I'm sorry that happened.
Oh, it happens all the time to me. I have like the worst and the best luck. You know?
What do you think that is?
Karma.
What did you do? I was like, do you need to like cleanse yourself?
No, I don't think I did anything that bad, but I think it's kind of just a balancing situation. You know, if something bad happens, something immediately great happens afterwards. So I just have to accept it.
That's true. Exactly. That's how I feel, like just accepting certain things where I'm like, yeah, I'm not like the lucky one that literally gets everything.
Right.
I feel like I have to hustle to like show my worth and get what I want, and it's fine. It's very I love it when it does happen.
Yeah.
So
this is so random, but I was following along with your stories on this club here or this bar here in New York. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Let's blast them right now.
Yeah, tell the story.
I will say, you know what? Everyone loved that. Like
I loved it. I was like,
and everyone was.
It's like, why did
I saw your story. So I was like, yes, I take pride in that. Oh my God. So weird. So La Victoria, where's the camera? Where am I looking at?
I think there. Oh, that one.
La Victoria. Okay. That club. I got my hair stuck in my ring. No, you guys are going down.
Fuck you guys.
Oh my God. So we had no plans of going there. I was at Soho Grand, honestly living my best life.
Yeah.
And we had some friends, some Italian friends that were moving to London. So they were just kind of having like a going away party. And it seems like they all went there and had a table at that club. So then me and my friends were like, oh yeah, of course. Like, let's just go see it. We get there and like, we're like in the line, but it wasn't even a long line. We were like right in the front. And the guy at the table that had the table, I guess, comes out and is like talking to the woman. I don't know what you call them because she's not like the bouncer, but I guess she's like the
like
host.
A hostess, yeah.
Yeah, that decides like, okay, they can come in or not. And like they're talking for a second and we're like, okay, great, we're about to get in. We're chilling. It's me, 3 other girls, and like 1 guy or something. And then she pulls him to the side. And we're like, oh my God, she's gonna ask for more money because obviously, you know, more people are coming. They probably need to buy another bottle or something. Whatever, understood. No. That wasn't it. They were chit-chatting, and then our friend goes to like one of our girlfriends and is like whispering in her ear, and I like overheard Melanie. And he's like, I'm so sorry, but you guys can't get in because Melanie is dressed inappropriately, whatever. And I'm like, he didn't just say my name. He didn't just say my name. Like, so I'm like, huh? Say it louder. What was it? I was like, I'm dressed inappropriately? I look around everyone. I'm like, I'm literally in club attire. My other friends were wearing like different stuff. I guess it was like more on the casual end. Like one of my friends looked like she was going to dinner. The other one was just, I don't know, like in a long like ruffle skirt. I guess more casual. And I'm the one in fucking neon green and my skin showing. So politely, I go to the woman and I'm like, I hear I'm dressed inappropriately. Is it that I'm showing too much skin? Do I need to wear a jacket or something? And she's like, no, you look great. It's not that. It's just you don't really like fit the vibe right now for this club. So I'm like, oh. So I'm like, what do you want? Boring? So then I turn a little spicy Karen. But still,
we love a spicy Karen. Oh, I love that. I've never heard that before. Spicy
I guess
Karen.
I just said that right now. I can't even believe I just called myself right now a Karen. That's absolutely not what it was. I just like turned spicy. Ditch that.
I like spicy Karen.
I'm not a Karen. I just got spicy.
Spicy
like,
Melanie.
Yeah. The spicy part came out. And whatever. So I was like, oh, you want boring clothes? And then she laughed. And I'm like, whatever. I'm like, no, for real. Like, I've never been here. Like, what colors do you want? Just so I know for next time. And she's like, just like casual. I'm like, honey, this is a Miami club. Like, you guys originated from Miami. I'm a Miami Latina, spicy, sexy. You don't want this in the club? And she's like, no, like, you look beautiful. And I'm like, yes, bitch, I know. This is where she lost it. And I had to say this in my story. Like, the word bitch, it's like I drink water. Like, I say it all the time. Everyone has to accept it. It's who I am.
I think if you were to say that to me, I'd be like, oh, like, that's endearing, you know?
Yeah. I wasn't like, oh, you're a bitch. I was like, yes, bitch, I know I'm beautiful. Like, and she's like, don't call me a bitch. She, like, lost it. She's like, get out. And I was like, that is where, like, I don't want to cause drama. That's, like, my ick. I hate that scene where it's like everyone's looking at you like, what's going on? So, no, I evacuated the area. But anyway, so my petty ass was like, I'm going to search what the club is about. So I go on Google, and I'm like, what is this club even, right? Literally, it talks all about it's an exotic land, taking you to carnivals, whatever, Latin music. So, bitch, you want a black blazer and a little black church dress, like your club? So whatever, they never responded. I did tag them in all my stories, and they didn't. But if you do see this... I expect a table, bottles, redeem yourself. Like, hello.
I love this. I love this.
But
I'm proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
For speaking your truth.
Of course. But I was humbled for a second. I'm like...
I had to pick up my drink.
I know. It's usually the other way, right? Like, oh, you're wearing flip-flops, you're too casual, you can't get into this club. Obviously, that I get that, right? Like, you want to live up to standards. But when you're telling me to dress down... First of all, that is like the most Miami outfit, a little bra and pants, because we wear nothing. Yeah. So I'm like, wild.
Yeah, their marketing needs to get on it.
Literally, you can't come up into New York, try to be all Latin, and then not let Latin people in. That's like, I mean, wow.
Oh my
But that's my 2 cents. I had a friend that was like, literally tagged them in everything. There's like girls that sometimes like get paid now to go to clubs because they like went on TikTok and said this club was racist or they called me fat, and then now they get like the whole world. So I was like,
oh, well.
Let me make a story, but they didn't respond. So they probably just don't give a fuck.
It seems that way, unfortunately.
It's fine. I'll never go there again.
Yeah, just
there are
like
plenty other places.
protest against it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think that's your like silent way of getting back at them. Just make everybody aware.
Oh yeah,
so that
it's just everyone who watches this.
It's
just
overrated.
Don't go there. I will say though, a friend reached out to me. She used to work there in the Miami club, and she said they were so problematic, like homophobic, racist. Like there was a lot of issues where she like told her agents like never let me work there again.
Okay.
So
well,
I think it's just
I won't be going there.
Yeah, it's just a thing.
Oh,
yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of that like in the club scene sometimes.
I know,
and it's just like. Why?
There is. Unfortunately, there is. I do love to go out so much, and I've been fortunate to not experience something like that, like to that extent. But now that I have, I'm a petty bitch. If I don't like you, I'm going to burn you down.
I love that piece of advice.
Yeah, of course.
Be a petty bitch and burn them down.
Yeah, in silence or something. Like, not too dramatic, but in silence.
Yeah. Wish them well from afar.
No, I don't wish them well. I don't wish them well. Other people I wish well, not her.
Oh my gosh. Well, going back to like manifestation and all that.
Yeah.
So, what do you have like a morning routine or like some sort of routine like that like sets you up for your day, like meditating or journaling, or is there like anything specific that you do that just like makes you feel good and like makes you feel ready to take on the day, your goals, anything like that?
No. I feel like
it's funny because I always talk to instructors and they'll like map out like all these different things that they do, and
oh my God, really?
You know, and I was honestly like, sometimes I don't know how valid it is.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you being like, no,
I'm the first person to be honest where I'm like, I have no routine. I wake up and I'm like, yeah, I gotta go to work.
Running out the door.
Yeah, no, not all the time. Like, I don't like that feeling all the time.
Yeah.
But I will say, like, I'm not the person that wakes up early, reads, journals. I'm all in here. And, granted, everyone that gives me advice, they're like, can you just write something down to remember? I'm like, no, I have it all here in my head.
Yes.
One day it's going to bite me in the butt, for sure. But it's my manifestation is all, like, internal. Like, I guess maybe I'm just lazy to write, but I'm a night owl, so I feel like my inspiration, my imagination all like comes at night. This has been like since I was a kid. Like when I was in college, I would go to the dance studio at 10 p.m. and dance till midnight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so no, not a morning person at all with a routine. Every day changes, but I kind of like that. It's so funny because I just feel like every inspirational person that's successful has their
Not
routine.
all of them. Not all of them.
I know,
I listen
but you hear
to-
that so much. You feel like
Yeah.
I feel like society pours that on you, like to do that, and I'm like,
yeah, the millionaire morning routine.
yeah, and I'm
stuff.
like, I don't know. I feel like I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah, I feel like I find little things that work for me, and then there's
Yeah.
some days where I just don't do any of it. But it's funny because I was listening to the How I Built This podcast with the founder of Southwest Airlines.
Work.
And he's like this old Texas man that, well, he passed away, unfortunately, but he would drink like a glass of whiskey first thing in the morning and like smoke a pack of cigarettes like on his lawn. And I'm like, I love that for him, you know,
I
that's
mean,
his
yes,
morning
I
routine.
would never do that. That's wild.
Yeah.
But I mean,
So
look at him.
they're not all like meditating and
No,
journaling.
of
but
course.
yeah,
I
there's the-
support it. I really do. I don't know. I really don't know. I feel like, I guess I've just gotten into so much of the Delulu, like just everything's going to work out.
It will.
Everything's going to work out.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I know I'm going to do good.
Yeah. Going back to
that's-
your La Victoria story.
Yeah.
So I was actually messaging you about this because
Yeah.
you went to the Hamptons and you went to this place, and I was like, the last time I was there, I stood up on a
yes.
table and it knocked over, and yeah, I'll tell you a little bit of the story. And I was at Rush Myers, and basically we ended up going there with random people in this
Yeah.
SUV, and I was like, sick, I'm getting wasted. So I go up to the bar, and the bartender has the same tattoo as me.
Oh, cool.
And she's like, oh my gosh, you're getting free drinks all night. I love your tattoo. I was like, sick. We did not have the same tattoo. Hers was like a giant martini glass, like on
my
her
God.
arm. I was like, I have like little tiny
But still.
temporary, like
Resemblance.
ephemeral tattoo. So anyway, that happens. And then me and my friend, she was visiting from LA. We were like dancing on this table. Well, we were dancing on the booth. And then I'm like, I'm going to stand up on this table.
As you
It's going to
should.
be iconic.
As you should.
And I do it. And
Yeah.
the minute I put one foot down on it, the whole table just in slow motion knocks
No.
over all the glasses,
No.
everything. And I was like, shit. And this
How
guy
did you
looks at me,
recover?
this guy in like a suit or like this like linen shirt looks at me like, I don't even know who he was. He looks at me and he's like, get the fuck out of here. And I was
Oh,
like,
no.
okay. So me and my friend
Yeah.
run away, but I was like, everything's gonna work out. Like,
Yeah.
it's gonna be great. So he was really mean to me, that guy.
Yeah.
So I go to the bar and I'm
Uh-huh.
like just kind of like decompressing. I'm like, oh my gosh, guess who I meet?
The girl.
The owner.
Period.
And he's like, oh my gosh, what do you want to drink? I'm like, this also.
Period.
There's this group of people. This is honestly the worst thing I've ever done. This is why this is karma.
Yeah.
So I go, this group over there is just being so rude to everyone. Like, they're being crazy. They need to go.
Oh my God.
This man's literally stomps over there and kicks them all out.
No.
I felt bad. I was like, that
No.
was not what I should have done. Especially because I caused the problem. But that was the story.
It's okay. You were in a whole nother world.
Yeah,
But look what happened meeting the owner.
exactly.
So
you've been going. You went to the Hamptons.
yeah.
Yeah. How was it?
Man, it's so fun. I went I feel like this summer was like my first Hamptons experience, like with friends.
Yeah.
I went like Memorial Day weekend with like a bunch of friends. It was so fun. I'm like meant to live that life, so it all makes sense.
Yeah.
And then this past time, I think July 4th weekend, I'm actually choreographing for my friend's wedding dance. And
Wait, that is so fun.
oh, I know. First of all, she was like, Mel, do you know like any choreographers like for a wedding? I'm like, hello, me. She's like, I thought you did ballet. I'm like, yeah. And so no, I've never choreographed for a wedding dance, but
That's
it's
so cute.
yeah, but like she took a chance, and I actually think it's going very well. It's so fun. I'm so excited for them. So I'm actually going next weekend to choreograph a little more. So it's like a win-win. You get to relax and then also just work a little bit. So
I love that for you.
No, it's so fun.
Well,
I'm
I can't wait to like keep up on
grateful
stories.
for my friends.
Yes.
That's
So, that's so thoughtful and amazing, and like just shows like how much talent you have, and your friends are like,
Oh my God.
please be a part of this special day.
Yeah.
And I think that's
no,
amazing.
she's so sweet. I'm glad she like took the chance on me. I think she's really happy with it, but
Well,
it's so fun.
Hopefully I get to see it.
Oh, I'm absolutely going to share it online. I feel like they're just a non-traditional couple. Is like, we're not going to do like the cutesy two-step dance. I'm like, you guys are better than that.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
like, we're going to get down and dirty and sexy.
Yeah.
So we're like dancing to Donna Summer,
Oh my
ABBA, and I'm
goodness.
like, yes. So I'm so excited to share with everyone.
Wait, this is going to be legendary.
I know. And like, they're having their wedding at the Boom Boom Room at the Standard. So again, just so sexy, and I just cannot wait.
Oh my gosh, it sounds like a dream.
It is, yeah.
So I have one final question for you.
Absolutely.
This is something I ask all of my guests. It's kind of a tongue twister, so just
no.
try and keep up if you can, but I can
Okay.
explain. So if you were to have a martini in a bikini, where would you be and what would you be drinking? And it doesn't have to be limited to martinis, just kind
Oh
of.
my God, martini and bikini.
Because if you don't like, a lot of people don't like martinis.
Well, I guess I'm going to manifest this because I'm going to Italy in August. So,
Oh my
Taormina
gosh.
at the White Lotus Hotel.
Stop.
And drinking my gin dirty martini in a bikini.
Ooh, I love that for you.
Mm-hmm.
When are you going?
August 17th.
August 17th.
I'm pumped.
Oh my gosh. That's
So
going to be so
pumped.
fun. I'm going to be in Europe around that time too.
I mean,
Maybe
If
I'll have
you're-
to.
if you're
Fly
down
by.
to, yeah. I'm like at this, I have nothing planned.
Me
truly.
neither.
Truly, I'm not a planner. I'm not a planner.
I don't even know where I'm going yet.
You would think we'd be a little bit more planned with our sign, but I'm actually a hot mess. Like, please, if I could pay someone to do it all for me, please plan my trip and I
Yeah.
will go.
Well, what are your three? Rising, moon.
Oh, Capricorn, Sun.
Yeah.
Leo, Moon, which I feel like screams out. It's Leo season. So. And then Aquarius, Rising.
I'm Aquarius rising. That makes
Did
sense.
we talk about this? No, we didn't talk about
I don't think we talked about that. When is your birthday?
that. January 7th.
Okay. I'm on the 19th. Interesting. All right. Well, that's probably why we don't plan anything. The
I think it's
spontaneity.
the Aquarius.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit too like nonchalant, like whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
Zodiac always explains it.
yeah.
It's my answer for everything.
What's your moon?
Gemini.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
Big personality.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's all in there.
Yeah. Wow. Oh my God. So yeah, I love your question.
Yeah.
Now see, we manifested that.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much for coming on.
Oh my God.
Melanie.
Thank you. This is so fun.
I know. This was
Yeah.
amazing and such a treat. And
Yeah.
it's so funny what can happen at Soho Grand Hotel.
I have more stories we can do later, but yes, Soho Grand truly is.
Oh my
Love.
gosh. Well, I'm going to come take your class next week, and
Yes.
then hopefully you can come on the podcast again sometime soon.
Please, would be so fun. Thank you so
Yes,
much.
Absolutely. Bye, guys. See you next week. Evaluating your relationships is the number one thing that should always be on your mind.
Yeah.
Creating boundaries is huge, and it's something that I'm still working through. I kind of want to talk about the Bachelor franchise just for a second.
Let's do it. No one that goes in that show know who they are in that situation because you've never been in it. I don't care how much deep work you've done, how much you read. If you've never been in a position like that to be so vulnerable and open, you don't really know who you are until you're in it.
I moved to a content house, which is basically just a house full of other creators that were doing Instagram or TikTok or YouTube or whatever. And it was the first place